You know what we call a vertical change? You know when we measure a vertical change.
Yeah, it's an elevation change.
Yeah, a vertical measurement in the vertical.
Yeah. Because it's a good approximation over a short distance.
Mm-hmm. So you're saying that horizontal, being straight, would get a measurement from the... Oh, wait a minute. You use a tool called a level that establishes a horizontal, and then from that horizontal you measure a vertical change, don't you?
I'm saying that
you do though, don't you? Right? Do you understand that, right? You use a tool called a level that establishes a horizontal, and you measure a vertical change from that horizontal. And what do we call that vertical change again?
Elevation change. That's not what I'm saying.
A reference to the horizontal, obviously.
The stars, and figuring out that for every 69 miles they went north-south, they 1 more degree from Polaris, or...
Would that be a horizontal distance, Scott?
Would
that be a horizontal
distance? It'd be a degree change. It'd be a degree change.
Well, the angle to the star changes, right?
Yeah.
As you change the distance horizontally.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
And the people who did it just assumed that the light reaching basically what would be the North Pole, the GP of Polaris, that light reaching there is parallel to the light reaching the observer.
So I'll just measure an angle to a star, measure curvature of the Earth.
And so the only thing that account for the angle change is the curve of the Earth.
Yeah. So how does measuring an angle measure the curvature?
I just explained that. I'm sorry you didn't understand.
Shall I
do it? Shall I do it again?
Yeah.
Okay. And so if we take it as an assumption, which I think is a valid assumption, that the light rays going to the GP and to the observer are parallel.
No, we can't assume anything.
No, I just did. And the people who did this work did too.
That's tough.
Because they didn't have an agenda.
You're assuming they are parallel. Yeah.
No, because they just wanted to understand where we live. And they wanted to be able to map the place that we live on so we can get shit done, like visit other continents and, sail to other continents originally and now fly to other continents. And that was their only goal, to just map the place we live on. They're not trying to prove anything. They're not, involved in a epic battle between good and evil.
Do you think they assume
they're not trying to suppress something. They're not trying to move us away from God. They just wanted to get from point A to point B, when point A and point B are a long ways from each other. That was their only goal. And so they thought, okay, how can we best do this? So yeah, let's look at the stars.
Yeah, by making assumptions.
Yeah.
That they wanted to
that's
prove
how
wrong.
That's how people get things done in this world.
They wanted to prove that their assumptions were wrong, right?
No. They wanted to figure out how to get from point A to point B. That was all they wanted to do.
Is an assumption like a hypothesis?
Yes, but what happens though is you make an assumption. You think, okay, let's assume this happens, and if that's true, point A to point B should be this far. And then they went there and they go, oh, it is this far. Nice, we must be right. Our assumption panned out. We're going to go with it until we find some reason.
Check that one out. A little clip.
Yeah, but then they just go with it and there's a reason not to.
Isn't he one of your high priests? McToon.
I don't know anything about McToon, sorry.
You don't know anything about him?
He's some dude on the internet, right?
Okay, yeah.
No, I don't listen to. I don't listen to flat Earth.
Have you heard of Professor Dave?
No, I don't listen to these people. I don't care about them. They're a waste of my time.
Okay, not Professor Dave.
Well, yeah, the professor that isn't a professor, Dave.
Yeah, they make videos destroying flat Earth, right? Or at least they think they are. I don't need them.
Okay. Well, there's a clip where
McToon... They're not going to tell me anything I don't know already. Why would I waste my time watching them?
Well, perhaps all the people don't know, perhaps.
Okay.
You
tell them about McToon or whoever it is.
Yeah, McToon makes a video about the 8 inches per mile squared and tells Professor Dave off, right? Because Professor Dave says it's not The reason it's not correct is because it's a parabola. And McToon says, oh, no. The 8 inches per mile squared is accurate for the actual curve of the Earth.
So? Now
So,
what?
well, that's what you measure, isn't it? The
now
actual.
What? No, nobody measures the curve of the Earth like that. Nobody cares.
Nobody measures the curve of the Earth. That is true. That is true.
Yeah, that's true. Very, very correct.
So, are they going off the 8 inches per mile squared, or are they going off Adam Meakin's new numbers and new formulas and perhaps Fight the Flat Earth's perfect maths? Or are they just measuring the land?
Like, well, my guess.
Which one do you reckon they're doing?
Yeah, I don't know, but my guess is the people who do the surveying. No, my guess is
you are here again, Scott, telling people that they're wrong, and you're just guessing.
You are misquoting MC Toon. You are misquoting MC Toon.
Oh,
you
Daniel, it's irrelevant.
Who is?
Me or Daniel? Scott? He's just trying to divert.
There is a video in the chat.
But that's not why.
You bit, Daniel.
So I cannot misquote McToon. You can literally listen to McToon talking about it himself.
I know what he said. You are saying
follow him down his
So what did he say then?
He said that the 8 inches per mile squared is wrong because it doesn't take the observer height into account. That's what he said.
Did he?
Yes, many times. Many times.
Gives a shit.
I don't.
Well, it doesn't matter about the observer height if you're after the curve, right?
Yeah, all the stars.
But
if
the
you're just measuring the land
per mile square has nothing to do with
refraction.
Yeah, it's got nothing to do with refraction. That's what McToon's saying. That the 8 inches per mile squared's got nothing to do with that.
Well, it doesn't. But the thing that we're
so that's what you measure, isn't it?
It also has nothing to do with how far you can see beyond the curve because it doesn't take the observer height into account.
Yeah, so it's literally just the measured drop
from the horizon. Yeah, of the horizon. Yeah.
Thank you, Captain Irrelevant.
Yeah, you never do see any curve. You just stop seeing things.
Yeah, though they
I don't think anybody in any of these channels ever held up 8 inches per mile squared, forgot about observer height, and said, this is how far you should see, but thanks for that pro tip.
Do you guys know the short numbers?
Well,
y'all are the assholes that brought it up, not me.
Has anyone worked out the short numbers for this dogmatic globe model? I mean, in a mile, you've got 8 inches, but what have you got at 100 meters? 200 meters? You know, measurable distances. What have you got?
Geodesic surveying is a thing.
Yeah?
The curve doesn't count at short distances.
What do you mean it doesn't count?
It's negligible.
It's measurable, right?
And
if it's measurable at a mile, it's measurable at a
Not in the model. Not in the model.
Measurable.
I think that you're misunderestimating how big the globe is.
Yeah, but listen
Jesse
to
Kozlowski says
8 inches per mile squared. Jesse Kozlowski, yeah.
It's that
Jerry's
big, you
right.
don't see the curve.
There's videos, isn't there? Half a mile. So what's the curve at half a mile? Anyone know? Quadratic formula?
Well, it was a degree or less.
What if it's 8 inches at a mile? What is it at the half mile?
Why doesn't somebody?
Well, what you have to understand. Hang on.
You have to do maths. You have to know how to do maths.
Hang on.
Do you?
What you have to understand is What you have to understand is that it's not 8 inches per mile square. It is 69.9 miles per degree.
That's not what McToon's saying, though, right?
That's exactly what McToon says.
That's an angle, mate. It's nothing to do with the curve.
No, degrees are not just angles. That's nonsense.
Degrees are not just angles.
Yeah, it's nothing to
circles
do with Earth
also-
curvature, mate, an angle.
What you've got here is a
circles
geometrically illiterate fool pretending to use
I am not
sophistry.
illiterate.
What's
Bev,
what's
try thinking. You're
what's
one
the
of
half mile
dumbest letters.
curvature rate then? If it's 8 inches per mile under a quadratic formula, what's the half
It may-
mile distance?
It would have to be
The
4.
observer height and refraction
Who
matter.
said that? Who's that? Who's doing the
Arnold
slope?
said that refraction and the observer height matter.
Who's the brave soul that spoke up? Anyone? Did somebody say
I
4?
did.
Did somebody do a Sean Hawkins with a 4?
I didn't see who it was, but someone definitely gobbed off.
Right, okay. So you've got a formula, quadratic formula, 8 inches per mile squared. What is the distance for the half measure? The half distance.
What is the half measure?
It's a, remember,
Come
it's
on,
a
Globies.
quadratic formula, guys. Come on.
Come on, Globies,
What
get the
difference does it make
calculator
what
out.
the half measure is. What difference does that make?
What's the distance at the half mile? Well, it's
What
just really
difference
to let
does
us
the half
know
measure make?
how
But you might be doing some surveying. You'd need to know the curvature over a short distance. How do you do it?
Okay, but what does
they
the
don't
half
do
measure?
surveying. Don't bring it in. But it's a mathematical
done
formula,
surveying.
right? What's the
But
distance at
what
the half?
difference? But Bev,
Yeah.
what difference does the half measure make?
Just to show us that you actually understand what a quadratic formula is and exactly
Well, I
how
mean,
impossible
I
this is.
understand. I understand that a half measure means the measure of a half of whatever you're measuring before.
Well, it's 8 inches over a mile. What is it at half a mile?
Well, that does not take into account the observer height or
There
refraction
is no
at all.
observer height to this formula. McToon's already told
There
you.
is
He's told
no-
Professor
okay,
Dave that
does
isn't a
an
professor.
observer have a height? Does an observer have a height?
If the drop is 8 inches, because that doesn't have an observer height, the 8 inches per mile doesn't have an observer height. So what's the
8 inches
half
per mile
distance
squared.
without an observer?
So, is there
Do you
an
know?
observer? Yes or no?
Do you know? Can you not even phone a friend? Get somebody to chat GPT.
So
Go
yes,
on.
there's an observer, right? There's an observer,
No,
right?
8 inches per mile is the formula. What is the half distance?
That's irrelevant.
No, it
So-
is. That's the question. Don't say it's
Well, I mean,
irrelevant.
what-
Donald,
that's kind of
Donald,
why you're
Just
but,
showing
Donald.
that nobody knows. You're all illiterate for your
Well,
own
because-
model. This is
Donald.
your model.
You know what? Hang on.
there
let me
is
talk
no observer height. The 8
Hang on,
inches
let me
per
talk
mile
about-
squared is on sea level, yeah?
All
If
right,
you're talking
It's
about
from anywhere.
height,
It's from
let
anywhere.
me
talking
From the
about-
starting point.
Would it be possible for me to talk to Bev alone? So, Bev, that you don't know, or I don't know what the half distance of an observer is, makes no difference to the shape of the planet. I don't understand what you mean.
This is
So
meant
the
to be the
things-
shape,
Opposing
isn't
planet.
it?
The
This is your
things
formula
that
for
make a
your shape.
difference- Bev, the things that make a difference are things like the distance between places.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
the-
so if it's a mile, then it makes a difference, because if it's a half mile, there's a difference. The question is to you, what is the difference between the half mile
Half.
and the mile?
it's a half.
You don't know.
So,
I don't even know why you're still talking. I don't even know why your friends are letting you talk. They're just letting you show that you've got nothing.
Bev,
Why
you
can't
are
they answer the
saying-
question, Bev?
Bev,
Why can't they answer the
Bev.
He
question?
can't, because he doesn't know.
Bev, you're saying nonsense.
No, it's you,
So
mate.
what?
You're
okay,
obfuscating answering a very simple
Bev.
question.
Bev,
Very
I'm
simple.
trying to ask you a simple question. Would you mind
Yeah, which is an obfuscation from his question.
Just
Exactly.
one. Answer a simple question.
Yeah, you're
So
trying to
Bev,
obfuscate from his question
No,
by
I'm
asking a
trying to
very
ask
simple
a
question
simple
of your own.
Bev, are you Bev? Are you Bev? You're not Bev. So Bev, what difference does it make? The halving the distance. What difference does that make?
The difference is the amount of numbers between one and the other. That's the difference, literally.
All right.
What? And
So
that was
what
the
difference does it
question.
make?
What
Okay,
is the
okay,
difference?
Why don't you Why don't you
Bev,
tell us the answer, mate, and you'll find out.
I'm trying.
Yeah, this
Bev,
does carry
what
on, right? It carries
Bev,
on past this
Bev,
point.
Bev,
We're just
Bev,
establishing at first that
Bev,
you don't
I'm
know.
trying to
Somebody
ask you
else
a
is going to have to
question.
tell you.
Bev,
All the time.
Bev, I'm trying to ask you a question. So, Bev, what difference does it make between 1 inch and 1/2 inch?
Half an inch.
Yes.
Okay,
Half.
well, I've answered
Exactly what
your
you're
number, right?
saying.
So what is the difference between 8 inches
But
at a
Bev,
mile and a half
Bev,
distance, a half
Bev,
mile? What's the difference between the
there is no
8-inch
difference.
measurement?
I'm sure
Okay,
somebody
that
said
has
4.
nothing. Oh my God, Bev, that has nothing to do with what we're talking about
Yeah, it does.
whatsoever.
We're talking about the 8
No,
inches
it
per
doesn't,
mile squared
because
formula
that, Bev,
of a certain
4
model.
inches per half a mile.
We're just trying
But
to work
it's
out
not.
what
It's
it
not
is for
8
half
inches
a
per
mile.
mile. It's not linear.
would it be okay?
So why did somebody say 4
Bev,
then?
Bev,
Somebody said 4,
Bev,
didn't they?
Bev, you
Somebody did
have
say
to
4
stop
before
talking.
this guy started doing his fucking
Bev, is
rambling.
it possible for you to stop speaking for 30 fucking seconds?
You can ask me another question, which I'm
No,
going to
Bev,
answer, and then
just
you're going to shout
stop.
Bev for fucking ages because
I'm
you
not
don't know how to
shouting.
answer the initial question.
Stop talking. Just stop talking for 30 seconds.
Was the first
So
guy
Bev,
that said 4? Is
Bev,
that
is
correct?
it possible?
Did
Can
he
you
do his
just
good
stop for
mathematical
30
formula?
seconds?
Did he follow the formula
Bev,
to work out 4 inches at the
Bev,
half-mile
is it
distance?
possible for you to give it a break for 30 seconds? So Bev, what difference does it make whether you have the distance between a mile, 10 miles, or 50 miles? What difference does that make?
I'm just proving that over a mile, McToon says the 8 inches per mile squared formula is accurate. I was asking you, what's the half mile?
It doesn't matter because
It
it's
would be
only accurate.
accurate though, wouldn't it? According to
Yes,
McToon's
I'm in the
formula. Do
middle
you
of a
know
sentence.
what it
Middle
is?
of a sentence, man. I'm in the middle of a sentence, man.
What's the middle of
Jesus,
the
man. I'm
formula?
in. I was in the middle of speaking,
Oh, come on.
trying to answer
Somebody
that
must
question.
have worked it
I'm
out for you now. Somebody send
trying.
this guy the answer then. He
Bev,
can at
I'm
least fucking
trying.
say it. Come on,
Okay.
Scott. Help your man out.
I'm trying to answer your Bev. I'm trying to answer your question, but you won't shut up.
Yeah, my man.
Bev. So should I
Hard.
just go away? Do you guys even care
Well,
about
you
what
can't
is or
answer
isn't?
the initial
No,
question,
no
so
one cares
I
what you're
think you
saying.
should go
No,
away. Give
Bev,
somebody else
Bev.
chance. Come on.
No, Bev, that's not the problem. The problem is you're not letting me talk. So please. So what difference does it make if you have a mile, 10 miles, 50 miles, or 100 miles? What difference does that make to the 8 inches per mile square? Bev, you couldn't shut up 30 seconds ago.
The formula doesn't
Now you
change, does it?
That's my point. So
Well,
what?
my point
Why
was,
bring it up?
if it's 8 inches at a
You-
mile, what is it at a half mile?
It's irrelevant. It's the same ratio. So the thing
If
that
it's
makes the
8
8
inches at a
I was in
mile,
the
what is
middle,
it
right in the
at
middle,
a
right in the
half
middle,
mile? You don't even know what
Bev.
the formula is, do you?
Bev. I was in the middle of a sentence. Bev. So, Bev, it doesn't matter what distance you use. It's the observer height that is missing. That's the thing that's missing is the observer height.
But it doesn't have an observer height in the initial equation.
Exactly. That's the problem.
Well, it's because then, right? It's a drop
Because
from
it's the middle.
a
It's the beginning of a
point.
Bev, it's the beginning of a
Hello?
sentence. It's the beginning of a sentence, buddy. I was
Hello.
trying to say a sentence. Bev.
Yeah. Do you want me to get?
So,
I'll get
Bev,
another clip. I'll get another clip
Bev,
for
I
people
was
to
trying
listen
to. I
to.
was
You are trying to say a
trying to
sentence and
say
shouting
a
bad
sentence.
and complaining, not being able to say a sentence. You said nothing beside jumping from half an inch to 100 miles.
I've been
You're
interrupted every
spiraling.
time because
You're
nobody will let me
spiraling.
finish.
You have
Because no,
nothing. And you are allowed to do it.
because nobody will let me finish a sentence. If you'd let me finish a sentence, you would understand.
Just answer the
So,
question, dude.
I'm trying, but you won't shut the
It's a
fuck up.
number. It's just a number. The answer is a number in inches. Do you know it?
That's not the answer. Your answer is objectively wrong because you don't understand what's happening. So, no, there is no okay. The equation that you're talking about has nothing to do with observer height. That's the problem. What is wrong with you?
No, I think you've got it observer height into your head, but I mean, it's got nothing to do with that, like McToon says. That actual formula's got nothing to do with the observer height. It's the drop from a point over distance. The distance of a mile is, according to the formula, 8 inches. The question for you is, what is that distance over the half mile?
1.87 inches.
Okay, I would go with that. Sure, because it's the
Well done. Right, so
root.
if there's a drop,
So
wait, no, you shut the fuck up, dude. Shut the fuck up. Right, so over the half mile, the first half mile, we have a drop of 1.8 inches. We then go for another half a mile. We have another drop of 1.8 inches. Right, he doesn't want this to be heard, and I don't know why you guys are letting this guy talk all over me. Is there something wrong? 1 half mile is 1.8 as advised by this other guy. The other half mile is another 1.8. Now, if you add 1.8 and 1.8, you do not get 8 inches.
Hold on. That assumes that it's linear, which it is not.
McToon says that this is the actual formula for the drop of the curvature of the Earth. It's accurate. So if it's accurate at a mile, it's accurate at a half mile.
But it's not linear. It's not linear.
It's accurate at a quarter of a mile.
It's not linear. At 1 mile, it's 8 inches. At 5, it's like 15 feet. It's not linear. It's because it's a sphere.
It's a quadratic formula, yes. Thus making it impossible.
Why do you say that?
But McToon says that's the actual formula.
I know, yeah, the quadratic formula.
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying, yes, it's not linear. That's your issue here, I guess. You can't say, well, half a mile is 1.87 inches, but 1 mile is 8 inches, and then again 5 miles, 15 feet. It's not linear. Because of the nature of a sphere.
Right? We're making triangles.
Yes.
Right, so you've got a horizontal established at the initial point, and then a distance away from that, you have a drop.
Right.
Okay.
So
you're
the
making
radius of the
individual triangles, right?
That's right.
Okay.
Which are
triangles?
drastically different.
They right-angle triangles?
Yes.
All the way along the horizontal.
As the Pythagorean theorem suggests, it's right-angle triangles.
So that number, that 8 inches, is a vertical distance, right? Or at least perpendicular to the horizontal.
The 8 inches is the relation between the two.
Mm-hmm. Rise over run. As we do in reality.
Slope.
Okay. So if that formula is accurate for 8 inches and half a mile, would that be accurate? It's quadratic actually, so wouldn't it be 2 inches? Somebody said 1.8 something, but I think it would be 2 inches being a quadratic formula.
1.87. 1.87.
Is that through the quadratic formula?
Yes, I just crunched it. You want me? I can take you through the math if you want.
8 inches per mile squared.
Sure.
So we start off with the 8. The quadratic would make it 2, wouldn't it? Quarter. It being a quadratic. Wouldn't a quarter of 8 be 2?
100%. A quarter of 8 is 2. So we can find some common ground there.
So it's not 1.8 then. Did somebody hand you some faulty information that you just took on?
I can take you through the math step by step if you're interested.
To get a 1.87?
I don't think you are. To get 1.87, absolutely.
Okay. So, but the quadratic formula would give you a quarter, wouldn't it? Like 2. That's something that people can work out by themselves, right?
To be honest, I don't know enough to contest
But
this.
you said you could work me through the mathematics.
Right,
I guess
for
that
the
would be just a bullshit,
for the Pythagorean's theorem, I can do it if you want to. So you take the radius of the Earth, right, as one side
not
of the
for
triangle.
8 inches per mile squared. You don't know.
Yeah, absolutely.
No, you don't.
I can walk you through the math. You want to get to
8 inches per mile squared.
You want to do this?
If you go on then. Have you got some paper?
Right,
Have you got some workings out?
So you ready?
Write it down.
Yeah, I'm sitting in front of a computer.
Okay.
So the radius of the Earth being one side of the triangle, approximately 4,000 miles.
Wait a minute. Which side?
Which side of the triangle?
Yeah.
The tall side.
The tall side. The height.
The up down.
Yeah.
We good?
The up down.
The up down.
You realise that within mathematics we use the formula half base times height for a triangle.
Sure.
Right. So we either have the base or the height.
Well, for the area of a triangle,
not the tall side.
But are we solving for
area? If you're
right
dealing
now?
with trigonometry, we have adjacent, opposite, and hypotenuse. Also, different labelings for a triangle. We don't
100%.
have
You are
the tall side.
Up down, yeah, sure, but you know what I mean, right?
Or the up down, yeah, that's another one.
Sure.
That we don't.
You know what I mean, right?
Mathematically.
Sure.
So we do know we have a
4,000
triangle,
miles,
right?
Sure. 4,000 miles being the radius of the Earth.
Wait a minute. Where'd you get that from?
From the Globers.
Okay, for Google. Are you Googling this method? Or are you just freestyling it?
Have I Googled the radius of the Earth? I absolutely have. People far smarter than us have figured it out.
4,000. So you didn't Google it now. Because you came up with 4,000. But I mean, carry on. For the mathematics, it'll probably make it easier. Right? Any random number, doesn't really matter. We're just talking about the mathematics, aren't we? Of your 8 inches per mile squared.
Sure.
Formula.
Okay. So, yeah, you know what's interesting?
That you don't know what you're doing now. That's the step that you've gone as far as you can go.
That I've just Googled the radius of the Earth, and it's 6,378 kilometers.
Mm-hmm. You did miles before, so what would you
So here
say
we are.
like...
So here we are. You ready? Okay. So 4,000 miles. Let's just say, for the equation's sake. You okay? We're good?
Yeah.
So 4,000 squared, right?
So you said the triangle. You've got a square
squared.
Now.
Yeah, a squared.
Are you using the diagonal of the square?
A squared plus B squared equals C squared. Are we on the same page there?
Pythagoras, yeah.
Absolutely. Okay. So 4,000 squared, right? Plus 1 squared to calculate 1 mile out. Okay.
What?
Right?
No,
4,000 squared.
Yeah, why?
So A squared
plus
B squared to calculate 1 mile out. 1 mile versus 4,000 miles. Okay.
Right.
4,000 squared.
Brilliant. Yeah.
Hey man. Hey.
Yeah, we're doing.
Maybe the number.
I see it. Yeah.
Maybe the number works out. Okay, just bear with me. Okay.
Maybe it does. Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
4,000 squared. 4,000 miles squared plus 1 mile squared, or plus 1 squared. Equals 16,000,001. Are we on the same page there?
Well, that's what you're typing into your calculator. How can it be wrong?
I don't know if you're using this. I don't know if you're using the same calculator as I am. Okay, so the square root of that is 4,125 hundred thousandths, or 3 zeros 125. Yeah, you have the same on your calculator.
No, we're doing your thing. I'm following along in my head with your calculations.
Perfect.
Right? Go on.
Perfect. Okay, so now we've square rooted. So we got A squared plus B squared equals C squared. right? Now we're going to take the square root of c squared.
But
right?
you already did that, yeah?
No, so it's 4,000, 0.000125. Okay. Subtract 4,000. Okay. You get 0.000125 miles. Okay. We're going to multiply that by 5,028 feet per mile.
Bet it's a while since you did mathematics like this, right?
Yeah,
do this
which
in
is about
school?
half a foot, of drop.
Half a foot.
Right.
Six
roughly,
inches.
roughly, 8, 6, 8, 8's not,
That's you telling me exactly how we get the maths to get 8, and you said about half. So that doesn't sound very mathematical to me, that. I mean,
That's actually wrong.
It doesn't sound like it's precise or anything.
You're wrong, dude. If the formula was 8 inches per mile squared, if you went because it increases exponentially as you go down. But if you went half a
It's
mile,
not exponentially; it's quadratic.
if you go half a mile, it would only be like 1 15/16, just under 2 inches. And that should be measurable, but that's not what is measured.
Well, if that's measurable, the quarter mile would be measurable too.
Right, you're right. And
the eighth of a mile down to wherever. It doesn't really matter, really, because a lot of people have a problem. You might find it that horizontals are a problem with the globe model. And that's because they think the shortest distance between 2 points is actually a great circle distance. So the maths gets really tricky. Other than, like this fella says, just the basic maths. If the basic formulas and Pythagorean theorem and geometry, if that is a struggle for these guys to work out, then how are they ever going to possibly work out the geometry of an impossible model?
Okay, but just for clarity's sake, the number we arrived on is, so to be exact, it was 0.6285.
No, that's not that's the wrong answer.
It would be 7.5 inches. But
that's the wrong answer. I'm telling you.
said 8 inches is accurate.
Yeah, well, then
so you don't want to be going against McToon, because I mean he said it publicly. There's no way he can go back. Once these guys say something publicly and it's recorded, they're locked to it. They can't go back from it. So 8 inches per mile, is sometimes told to me by a surveyor, right? The drop of the water level is 8 inches per mile squared. That's what everybody says, right? That's why a water level is
to be fair,
being a tool that devises a horizontal plane of reference becomes
to be fair tricky. We did round the radius of the Earth for simplicity's sake to 4,000 as opposed to the exact. So this could make up for the little bit of difference, right? But
well, it would be accurate then, right? You could have short numbers, couldn't you? As well as going beyond a mile, you could come back to the observer. See what? There's a guy called Sly Sparkane. I know a lot of people don't really want to know who he is, but he leads a massive troll army. And he devised a test to measure this drop 1,600 meters. It's a mile. But he had individual water levels of 100 meters. Do you know what the drop is over 100 meters? I know it'd be tricky as fuck trying to work it out, wouldn't it? But you would be able to work it out mathematically, wouldn't you? Yeah, well, that's
Couldn't we
why I
just
was
do the exact
asking.
same thing?
What is it at 100 meters? What's the
100
drop
meters?
of 100 meters? Yeah. If
The
it's there over a mile, it's there
what are you
over
doing,
100
Maran?
meters.
You guys still have like a flood brains. What are you up to, guys?
Put 16 of
you-
them
you-
together,
you-
because that was slice arcanes,
And
bending
now we're
water
going
level
imperial
test.
to metric, though. Now we're going imperial to metric, right? Which also fuzzes things up.
Well, it doesn't really matter. Like for this,
Well,
to show how impossible a
does.
quadratic formula is in reality, it doesn't really matter. You can do it by the half mile if you want.
Yeah, I mean, and that would be better. Instead of saying 100 meters,
Let's
we would
say it's
translate
2
that in
inches
miles.
over a half mile. Well, if you add those two together, you end up with 4 inches. But if you start from one point and go the whole mile, you have 8 inches. So there's a difference of 4 inches. Isn't there? That's pretty noticeable, right? As an impossible sort of measurement. It would go to show you how impossible it is to measure this thing. Because if you go twice as far, it isn't twice the drop. Which is impossible.
No, but again, because it's not linear, that would imply that it's linear.
But
and it would be the same.
a horizontal is linear.
Yeah, but okay, but
and
hold
your
on.
calculations
But when you're
linear.
dealing,
The Pythagorean theorem that you're using is
when
a
you're dealing with
linear
this
formula.
When you're dealing with a sphere, picture it was a sphere. Okay, the further you go off, the further you go straight, the bigger the drop down. You agree?
The drop down from the horizontal.
Yes. Naturally.
Because that's how you measure it. There's a limit, right? It disappears. There's a certain point where there is no sphere, right? Those measurements that you're making are called Euclidean measurements, and we measure the shortest distance between 2 points being a straight line. As for all your calculations that you're using, your brain gets fried when you see an impossibility, but you either have to work the impossibility out or just let it go and incorporate it into your model. But if you incorporate impossibilities into the framework that you're basing everything on, then you end up with a broken mind. It's impossible.
Speaking of impossibilities, is there a flat Earth model that exists?
There's plenty of models for reality, because that's where we both make the models and measure the original scale versions to turn into models. It's all Euclidean.
What is this guy yapping about? Quit yapping.
Yeah, you don't want to hear this sort of stuff, do you?
No, you're just yapping.
Uh-huh.
He asked you a direct question and you just started yapping about nothing.
They
Hey,
tend to do
bro,
that
you
when you're
just
telling
came
the
into the
truth.
discussion. You just joined the channel.
Blah, 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 blah,
They
blah.
always
I
do
know
that.
yap when I hear it. I know yapping when I hear it.
Yeah, but you just joined. Like,
They
give
try
it
to
a rest.
discredit you.
They'll be listening on the
So,
live stream.
is there like a picture I could see?
What do you mean? Of Slice Barkane's bending water level experiment. Let me see.
No, I'm asking for like an idea of what a flat Earth would look like.
Don't know that. You have to leave that to the flat earthers. And I'm not a flat earther. I'm just trying to deal with the mathematical formulas, because it seems like the flat earthers are having a problem with it, and these globe guys haven't got a clue. There's all sorts of contention, and I just say it's fucking impossible. But, hopefully we might get there in the end.
All right. So is there a flat earther in here that can show me a model?
There was a discussion going on. So if you want to talk about that, you're going to have to wait until this one is over.
Yeah, you just came in and trying to divert. Like, I'm listening.
I was just asking a question. If you don't have one, just say no.
That's a boring
and I'll
fucking
do it.
question. 1,000 times a day. Do you have a model?
And say
It's
no.
not even
And say
your
no.
question, dude. Just like let
I'm
the
just asking.
conversation that's going on. It's more interesting than this parroted, regurgitated crap we hear 1,000 times a day. It's not even your question.
The funny thing is, they don't even have a model.
Well, it's not even a question that he personally is asking. He just parroted from somewhere. So it's not like he's going to put any actual thought into the answer either. He's just going to go off a script the whole way down. So it's just
Right.
content.
Look in the see that there's the water level thing. The first model, Slice Barcane got a GoFundMe to go and do it, but as you can see, too leaky. It just leaked everywhere. He couldn't get the water to where he wanted it to go to because it was a water level, and he didn't survey it first to find out the levels of the land. And he decided to go down a path at the side of the canal rather than along the canal. Can you imagine how fucking stupid he must have felt, leaking it everywhere? So his next one was where he did individual 100-meter water levels, and he was going to line them up end to end over the full distance. I thought that was a pretty bad idea, because you'd only end up with, like, let's say you get 1 millimeter drop over 100 meters. Well, 16 of them would give you 16 millimeters. That's not 8 inches. Like, you're missing a fair bit there, aren't you? You're not even really at an inch. It's 25 millimeters in an inch. So 16 over 16 100-meter things. It confused me what he was trying to do, because we've got a
You
test,
didn't do so
right?
well in maths in school, did you,
We've
Bev?
got a test using water levels that shows that a straight line lies within the plane.
You didn't do so well in maths, did you, Bev?
No drop in our one. We just have a straight line. I call it a horizontal plane that a water level establishes.
Just goes on talking. Just
Yeah,
talking to hear
of course
himself
I did
talk.
maths. Yeah. O level, B.
Just
I
talking
got.
to hear
Not
yourself
an A
talk,
grade,
aren't you, man?
just a B.
You just go on talking.
And then I went on to do some surveying. So I actually did the tools and measured this drop. Learned all of the principles of it and everything. Differential leveling. So I do actually know how to use these tools and how to actually measure this. And like I said, when Slice Barcane said he was going to do this with the water level, I thought, that's brilliant. I don't know why nobody's ever done that before. And then I realised, yeah, I know why nobody's ever done it. It's because it's impossible.
Why is it impossible?
Because the half distance, it's a quadratic formula.
Why? Why is it a quadratic formula?
2½ because 8 inches per mile squared. Hello, Scott. I know you don't know anything. Refer to somebody else. Go on, bring the big guys out. Believe me, you'll get nowhere. Because I've been here for 4 years. More. Asking these questions.
If
We're
it's
just dealing
anything
with a
like the
straight
time
line.
I've
People
seen
say
you,
it's repetitive. But I just say people don't want to talk about it because it's damaging to models.
but it's not, man.
Can I ask, what does it mean with your test that a straight line lies in a plane? What are the implications?
There's no drop. There's nowhere to measure a drop. It's just a straight line. Yeah, this formula seems to measure a drop. But a drop of what? Jesse Kozlowski told us that. It's the drop of the water level from a horizontal.
No, that's not what anybody's ever said. That's just your misunderstanding of it.
I've heard the
just your
video that he says that.
misunderstanding.
No.
What were you going to say now then, Scott? If I can bring up a clip of somebody actually saying that. The guy that's not around anymore.
I would bet that they meant something other than what you're saying.
You try and work out that they were saying or meaning something else.
No,
Play word games.
I've been listening to you long enough to know that you misunderstand everything, and you probably misunderstood this too.
Uh-huh. Well, there is, like,
because
it's well
it falls in the
documented.
category of something.
I only really got a chance to talk to Jesse Kozlowski once, and then he disappeared.
Well, my guess is you misunderstood everything he told you. Because you don't understand anything at all. I've been listening to you for a while now, man. You don't say anything that's correct.
There we go. I'll put it in the chat for you.
Hey, Bev, I have a question for you. Do you think McToon could be wrong about saying you use a quadratic formula?
What do you mean, McToon? He corrected Professor Dave, right? The not professor.
No, I know.
He did a video, the 10 things that flirts say, or whatever. And McToon corrected him about this. That's where this clip comes from, where McToon is correcting Professor Dave.
That's all?
Right, but I'm saying though, is it possible
McToon
that
knows nothing. All McToon knows is that it's a fucking formula that he's saying is accurate.
Okay, so I'm asking, and there's a reason why, because I want you to hear. Let me read this couple paragraphs here.
Down from the horizontal plane.
Here we go. Listen.
Okay.
The level surface drops down from the horizontal plane at a rate of 8 inches times the distance in miles squared.
There you go, Scott. Please.
Yeah, which is not what you said. Like I said, you misunderstand everything.
Drops down, drops away.
You misunderstand everything.
Well, then which is the level surface when we're using water levels?
I've already told you this before, and you didn't understand it then. You won't understand it now.
Okay, is it okay if I read something to you, Bev, as well as the room? Because I've been listening to you, and I was very interested. So I asked this AI. I said, can the quadratic formula be used for measuring the curvature of the Earth? It says, the quadratic formula itself is not used to measure the curvature of the Earth. The curvature of the Earth is typically calculated using geometric principles and trigonometry, considering the Earth's radius and the distance between 2 points. The quadratic formula is more relevant in mathematics, particularly when dealing with equations that involve squares.
Yeah, ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0.
In the context of
the quadratic formula will give you the solution for x.
In the context of Earth's curvature, other formulas are more suitable for estimating curvature over short distances. In summary, while both involve quadratic equations, the quadratic formula is not directly employed for calculating Earth's curvature. Specific geometric formulas and models are used for that purpose. So I think here McToon might be wrong.
Well, Jesse Kozlowski says it's the drop.
Right.
And that's what you measure, isn't it? That's the actual measure. So if Jesse Kozlowski says drop measured, no wonder he's disappeared, right? If Jesse Kozlowski says the drop, then and McToon says it's accurate, then can you not use those numbers to measure the drop?
Right.
The answer to that is no, it's impossible. It's not there.
Why is it impossible?
Level is a straight line on a horizontal plane. In reality.
Also, there's a difference between measuring and calculating. I'm sure you're aware of that.
And this doesn't make the Earth flat, guys. That's fucking ridiculous. For anybody to say that, you can get that out of your head. This does not make the Earth flat. These are just facts of reality.
What does it make the Earth then, Bev?
Measurable. With elevation changes that are measurable. points and positions that are plottable
Funny.
on maps, like they are.
Dev, I think you're using the wrong formula.
Yeah.
D squared over 8R.
I think you're measuring for a parabola. I think that's what's going on here.
Measuring the
It's pretty
drop
damn
in
close.
reality to measure
Y equals
elevation
X.
changes.
Y equals X squared. Like,
Yeah.
You guys got to decide on a
But it's pretty
formula
close.
here.
Will the formula make any difference if it's impossible to be able to measure what they're trying to do? Because you'd need a level, and level is a straight line on a horizontal plane. So this is where the nutsacking comes in, guys. How do you do
I don't
the
understand
impossible?
why you keep saying that.
At least contemplate it, eh?
No. I mean, I don't understand what you mean by saying that.
It's impossible.
No. About
You don't
the
understand what
horizontal line on a
impossible is.
plane. No. But a horizontal line on a level plane, what does that mean?
Level is a straight line on a horizontal plane.
Okay, and what do you mean by that? What does that mean? Like
That
okay.
literally means what it says. I couldn't make it much simpler than
I
that.
was just going to say it again, man.
Yeah, but I mean, what is your understanding of what that means? Why is that significant? Like, what can you take from that?
It's just in reality, mate. In reality, level is a straight line on a horizontal plane. Now, I can say that with confidence because I've done a test. It's called the Realizing Euclid test.
The only people that are doubting it are the people that haven't used it at all. That's what's happening here. Who's in here that's saying level's not horizontal?
I've used a level, and you put it on wood. You make sure that it's flat.
On wood?
Yeah. Well, in carpentry, you know what I'm saying.
You can do it on anything, mate.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
What about water level? You ever use one of them?
He doesn't even know what a water level is.
Exactly.
Personally, no, I've never. No,
exactly,
I've never.
right? Sadly, that's the problem. It's like people that are denying facts in reality with calculations when people will deal with this.
Water level. What like?
You got 2 points.
Yes.
One end and the other, A and B.
Okay.
Even altitude. One can't be any higher or lower than the other.
Okay.
Yes, we get that.
Right. Okay.
Now
Right.
what?
So, what do you mean now? What?
Yeah. Now what?
Yeah. What do you?
What do you want to
know? I don't know.
They're going to go round and round in circles because they're searching for a solution to an impossibility.
No.
We call this aporia.
Yes.
We get what a water level
Their solution
is.
is just to knock down their own maths. Kind of self-defeating.
But we get what a water level is. How do you use it to
You're trying to find a
demonstrate
drop
anything?
of the reference from the reference.
Yeah, but nobody expects that to happen, man.
Exactly.
Right, exactly.
That's
There's no
why
drop, is there?
we know level is a straight line on a horizontal plane.
No, we don't. You do.
Yeah,
you think it is, but that's not what anybody else thinks it is.
Well, we've actually done the Realizing Euclid test, and I don't know if you know anything about that.
Yeah, but that was a waste of time because nobody cares about it.
See, nobody
Because it
cares.
didn't prove
See,
anything.
nobody cares, Spot on. That's the thing.
Yeah, I know.
Scott's speaking for the
But
room
we
to say that
already
nobody
know
cares.
you can connect 2 points.
This Scott's always doing the talking. Why doesn't someone else do the talking? This guy has no idea. Seriously, I've listened to him for like a few days now, on and off.
Everybody
Is there
already
anyone
knew
else
you
in here that's
connect
got
2
a clue
points.
about what's going on in there? Because this guy ain't. No
Wait,
disrespect, Scott, but
did anybody
don't
here
bother.
think you could have connect 2 points? Anybody?
There he goes. He's going to try and like push someone into something. Go on.
Well, we all knew you could connect 2 points. What did you prove?
Why are you speaking for everyone else again? Just speak for yourself.
Well, he can't speak for himself because he hasn't got anything for himself. He always hands it off to other people.
Do you think nobody understood you could connect 2 points?
Shortest distance between 2 points is a straight line, isn't it, Scott?
We get that. Everybody knows that already.
Yes.
Who's the other guy saying yes?
Everybody loves
Sorry,
Raymond.
I can't see the list.
Confidence in your geometry. That's the starting point. A straight line.
Oh, you just told us 2 things everybody already knows. What else you got?
Well, that's it. I don't need to go any further.
What else you got?
Yeah, I don't need to go any further. Those 2 points being a straight line can be orientated horizontally, can't they?
Okay, we knew
you
that
do
too.
that. You
What
do
else?
that with a tool called a level.
And then what do you do?
Well, you say the level is the tool that established the straight line on a horizontal plane.
Okay, what did you just prove there?
That level is a straight line on a horizontal plane. And you can prove that a straight line lies within the plane entirely through geometric reasoning.
We already knew that too.
And also that all horizontals are parallel with each other.
You didn't prove that though. You didn't prove that.
Hold on, I work in brickwork, yeah, in
No, you
building
didn't prove
construction.
that.
I work in brickwork construction.
Okay.
Do you understand? Right?
Yes.
So
yes, I understand
that's what we do. That's our job. We have to make the lines parallel. These levels are parallel. If they're not, then you've got a problem. Massive problem.
And how
so
long are
I
your
don't know what
walls?
you're talking about. Everyone knows it anyway.
And
apart
how
from you,
long are your
obviously.
walls?
As long as you want, mate. You can go like
how
however long
are
you
your
want.
walls?
As long as you want.
Didn't ask that.
What are you trying to say? Are you trying to say that horizontals aren't parallel?
That's exactly what I'm saying.
Well, what we do is, Scott, we work out with the first bit and say that level is a straight line on a horizontal plane. And then we can say from that all of the horizontals are parallel to the plane of the horizon. We can then use further geometric reasoning to reason that all horizontals are parallel.
Except you skip the
step-by-step process, but it starts
with
the straight line, Scott. Realizing Euclid, straight line in reality.
Yes, but you take that same water level and you move it about 100 yards to the right and you're going to get a different horizontal.
But the realizing Euclid test shows that they're shared straight line segments.
You're not gonna. Oh my God!
The same straight
Scott,
line.
True.
Scott, that is ridiculous, Scott. Because you can, if it's a okay.
This is what Scott does. He just sits here in this room and says,
only in
"No,
his imagination
you're
does
wrong."
that exist. Not in reality.
That's why you need Scott in here for doing this.
I don't know why is he talking all the time? Yeah, and all you other guys aren't saying nothing.
Leading the room.
I hardly talk at all. Get over yourself, man.
Hey Scott, you only in your imagination does that work. That never happens in the real world when we're building anything. A horizontal level line doesn't change angles 100 miles away on a curve to make sure it's now horizontal to that curved line down the road. You understand that?
No disrespect, but there's no need to even mention a curve when you're talking about levels like that.
Exactly.
Seriously.
Exactly. It's
no
because it
mention
doesn't
of it.
curve.
Yeah, exactly. Well, there's in building construction, and I think you work in
I just
construction.
think it's kind of wild to compare building like a fucking house or a building or even a stadium to the type of scale that we're talking about here.
Why can't they talk? Why do you have to over-talk them? Like they're two builders talking. What's up with it?
So how long does something have to be built to make sense for you?
Well, we don't understand. Oh, I don't understand scale. Are you kidding me?
Clearly.
Yeah.
Clearly,
hold on.
Right. Okay. Well, just
hold on,
like I said, I'm not listening to this guy because he's like.
Hold on. Hold on. The guy that said that building a house, you can't even worry about curvature. How big would you have to worry about something for curvature?
Don't ask him that. He hasn't got a fucking clue. What's the use of asking anybody a question like that?
We're in a situation right now where we have to give like some sort of extra credence to a man who says he works in construction. He probably builds patios outside someone's back garden, and he thinks because it's not curving,
is this the guy that's never built anything sort of
therefore it's totally flat. I mean, it's almost like we stepped into clown world very briefly.
Obfuscated.
Scared of the truth. Scared of the truth.
Okay, so how far does something have to be built for curvature to start applying?
Nothing has to be built, mate. Sorry, nothing has to be built. That's the thing. We're talking about horizontal here using water level.
No, I know. I'm meaning for these guys.
A reference.
No, I know. I know. We understand that, but I mean for the people that believe the Earth is curving.
So, what on earth were we deferring to you for being a construction worker for then? What was our point of that?
Because I just want to prove it to them. and show them because it shuts them up.
Not
He
you.
just wants to jump
Because he's
in
trying
because
to
Spot On was
he's
pointing
trying to
out that
make
he
you
was a
insignificant.
builder.
But here's the point though.
He don't-
Relevant. It's citing credentials that
But
are
here's
irrelevant.
This guy can't have anyone talking.
here's-
He likes to say that other people can't experience and have any knowledge of anything.
Your
This
patio
guy,
means
Huey,
the earth is
likes
flat.
to.
Yep.
Huey, you can say what you like. You think I
But
build
here's the point I
patios?
want to
That's
make.
up to you, mate. I don't build patios all the time. I build all sorts of kinds of constructions.
But
I'm actually
here's
building
the
a wall right now with thermal blocks. Literally
But
with my trowel.
all
Yeah.
of that is completely irrelevant to the fact
Good
that
for you, man.
level is a straight line on a horizontal plane.
Exactly.
Which you guys are all just obfuscating away from.
But they're infinite horizontals.
And the point I want to make to Scott and all the other Globers that don't grasp it, because obviously the people that know that that's nonsense,
another
they
wrong
understand
thing.
it. Can you please stop talking while I'm talking? Please. Thank you. The point is that when you have a horizontal level line, it's equivalent to taking an 8-foot level and putting toothpicks on top of it. Now, if
You
you kept
realize horizontal levels are pleonasm, right?
Yeah, same thing. Yeah, I get it.
It's an
Okay, but the
overuse.
point the point though is that putting toothpicks, these little increments, and you're putting them on top of a 8-foot level, okay, that's set up horizontally, okay, then when you take that
talking
and
about the
transfer
water
that
level.
measurement over, please, I'm so close to being done. When you keep taking that position and transferring that benchmark from one 8-foot ruler to the next, to where you're having something built horizontal and thus level, then those toothpicks, no matter how far how many you put, they're not going to start curving on you because they're on top of the level of these. I'm sorry, they're top of the levels themselves.
Yeah, they don't
which are
use
staying
Like, hold
toothpicks
on.
within
Guys, can I
fucking
just say come in,
building.
please? Can I just come in as well? Like, sorry, mate, but like, I've heard some descriptions about how to describe what level is, and that's probably one of the worst I've ever heard. Why are you bringing toothpicks into it?
Yeah, I don't understand the
No,
toothpicks.
you're not.
Seriously.
Okay, look at the reason why I bring. Look at the reason why I bring toothpicks into it is because toothpicks are straight, and if you put them on top
Builders
of
don't
no, they're
use
not.
toothpicks.
They're
Why
fucking
would a builder
endless.
use fucking toothpicks to describe
if
what he
you
does?
because
For
you got to
fuck's
speak for these
sake.
idiots that don't
Has
get
this
it.
guy got authority in here, or is it you are not a mod or an admin or something?
Look. When
Are
you
you an
have a
admin or
level,
mod?
when you have a level, an 8-foot level, and you put
Oh, please don't
straight
go for it again, please.
and you
Honestly, it's
put
embarrassing me.
and
Right?
when you put toothpicks on top of them, how many do you have to put to make a curve?
What fucking
Why
hell are
would
you
you put a
talking about?
toothpick on top of a level?
Because because that's the way we built shit.
He makes
Because you're
miniature
putting
patios.
Over anything. If anyone's listening out there, don't listen to this guy because he hasn't got a clue about what
Builders
fucking
don't
level is.
use
Obviously.
toothpicks on levels
We
to
don't use
build
toothpicks,
Hold on,
things.
wait. Are you fucking retarded, bro? Are you
That's
fucking
what
retarded?
you're saying. You're
you on
the
about?
one
Am I
saying it.
retarded?
Okay,
Flat
listen.
earthers fight.
Hey,
I'll step out.
Bev, shut up right now because you're fucking retarded right now. The reason why I'm using
Oh
the reason
God!
why.
Look, seriously,
Okay,
he's gonna
no,
do it
shut
again.
up,
Isn't he?
bro. Listen, I'm talking. Shut up, real quick. The reason why I use toothpicks on top of an 8-foot level because people can do this in their house, and they realize that when you build level horizontally flat, you put toothpicks on top of the level, then you can put as many as you want, as long as you transfer that line to be horizontal still, they will never start to curve away from each other. That's the whole fucking point. It's
Like
I
seriously,
simplified
like
it.
so you've just explained it for the second time, and it still makes no sense.
Are you
You're like
fucking
literally.
retarded?
This is
You
I'm
don't
a
get
bricklayer.
that.
I'm a bricklayer that uses the
You're
spirit
just
level
as
every
retarded as a
single
Glober, bro.
day that I'm working. I
You're
got
just as
literally.
retarded as a Glober if you can't get that.
Well, okay, well that's fair enough in your opinion, but I know I'm not, so that's up to you. Right, let's
Okay.
talk about level and actually what it is and how it can be described without using toothpicks.
Dude,
You got
tell me how many
level,
toothpicks does it take to make a
You
curve?
make yourself look like a joke, Apocryphon.
God.
You've
going on here?
you're
You're
making the building profession look like fucking they're stupid.
Yeah,
It's
what's the
no
toothpick
fuckers.
model?
No, you dumbasses. It's because if you have to explain it simply, because
No,
these
this is
people
not
don't get it.
simple. I don't know what you're even trying to explain. It doesn't make any sense. For one
Do
thing, a
you not
toothpick isn't
grasp?
even fucking straight, is it? It's taped at each end. So what
Do
are you
you
talking
not?
about?
What'd you just say?
I said a toothpick is taped at each end. Right, anyway, I'm not getting into
No, no,
that.
no,
Fucking
no.
hell.
If you laid them on top
You're
of
talking
the
about a
fucking,
toothpick?
do you know what? Have you ever used the 8-foot level? You
I'm
dumbass.
out of here. I'm out of it. I'm gone. Nice speaking
Have
to
you
you.
ever used the 8-foot
We might
level?
be able to talk about level and horizontal today, but
Have
and
you
water
ever
levels.
used
But
an 8-foot level? Yes. Or no?
people that haven't got a fucking clue. See you
Apocryphon,
later.
Have you ever used an
don't
8-foot level?
fucking
Yes or no?
patronize him. Apocryphon.
Have you ever used an 8-foot level? Yes or no?
He said he's took part in the realizing Euclid test. We know that level is a straight line on a horizontal plane, right? And we don't need toothpicks to fucking explain it.
No. But we do, and I'll tell you why.
No,
See, Bev,
you
that's where
do.
you're wrong.
You do,
Bev, no,
and your
Bev,
rhetoric is
Bev.
shit.
No, Bev. Shut the fuck
It's
up.
like
This
the
is why you're
worst
wrong.
rhetoric I've ever
Bev,
heard.
Bev,
Dog
shut the
shit.
fuck up, Bev. This is why you're retarded, Bev, and I've told you
It's really
before.
bad.
You have to, Bev, you have to put it in practical terms, because don't forget, Globers believe that level means curved, you dumb fuck.
Apocryphon. You can't appeal to this idea of like come to my side. You know, we're on the same side ultimately.
No,
Bev. Like,
it's not about that. It's about telling you guys.
you say dumb shit. You say dumb shit. You know?
Not only am I telling Globers this simple fucking idea, all right, to this thought experiment, I'm also telling Bev and his side of the crew, because what Bev has to realize is that Globers believe that level is curved. So every time Bev says, "We know what a straight line horizontal is," to a Glober, they're gonna say, "Yeah, we do too. It's curved." So they are not gonna ever fucking meet in the middle, ever. This is why I use a thought experiment.
That's
and
why
say,
I
okay,
say I don't care what anyone else thinks, because I fucking know. I have the proof. And me having that proof allows me to be absolutely certain of what I say when I say it.
Oh, speaking of your proof, Bev, have you gone to that university yet?
Funny how the Globers in the end have to come out and help out the FE, and the FE help out the Globers in these arguments.
I'm just curious.
I
Like,
mean,
have you submitted your proof yet?
I mean, toothpicks. Come on, man, toothpicks. You think that makes it simpler?
Yes. Want to know why? Because you
Well,
can
I don't
use
hear
this.
why, because I'm
I'll
just
tell you why.
saying it's rubbish.
I'll tell you
No,
why.
you
You
what are you
asked me
doing?
a
You're just
question. Let me
dumbing
answer.
down something for
You
what?
asked me a
3-year-olds?
question. You asked me a question. Let
5-year-olds?
me answer. Yay. You asked me a question. Let me answer. Now shut up. You said toothpicks. Do you think it makes it any easier? Yes. And I'll tell you why. Because the reason why is because you can use in your mind, you can imagine an 8-foot level in your house and then put toothpicks on it. And then if you say, and then if you tell someone, now if
We
you
had a water
transfer that,
level that was doing that a minute
why are you
ago. That
talking?
was fine.
Why the fuck are you talking right now? I'm still talking. Then when
We
you
heard
ask
what you
somebody,
said. You explained it before, but we're not 5-year-olds
when you
here.
ask somebody, to transfer that line, because that's what we do in the real world in construction world.
Nobody ever does that.
Okay.
No one.
Excuse me?
No one ever does that with
No one ever
toothpicks and an
transfers the
8-foot
line?
level. Ever. Ever in
Whoa.
humanity.
Hold on.
In humanity, ever.
Once again, when you transfer in the real world of construction, you transfer the line. Do you know what that means?
When did you last use an 8-foot level and
Hold on,
toothpicks in
wait.
your
No.
construction?
Wait, hold on. You're not getting it.
I'm
Do you
getting it,
understand
but you've never used
do you
it.
understand what transferring the line means? Just
You've
answer my
never done
question.
that in your life, ever.
Just
In
answer my
If
construction.
anybody's
We don't
listening,
do
this
that.
guy does not represent the whole of construction,
answer my
and he's
question.
trying to shut down other people who are talking about it
just
because
answer my
he thinks
question.
his rhetoric is the better rhetoric.
Just answer my question. Have you ever transferred
Stop
a line
asking.
before?
Why are you asking questions?
Listen,
I'm
people
asking
here,
this.
the people here are not. The
Have you
people
ever
here are
transferred
not
a line
5
before?
years old, even though they act like it sometimes in their intelligence.
Have you
But
ever transferred?
toothpicks and then,
No, it's very
yeah,
easy. It's very simple. Have you ever transferred a line before? Yes or
and
no?
nobody ever does.
Everybody in construction transfers a line. What the fuck are you talking about?
I know, but nobody uses toothpicks at an 8-foot level ever
No.
in
See,
humanity.
now you sound like a fucking glober, an idiot. You're not getting it. The reason why is because when you
Bro,
transfer that
just
line,
because you call people retards or globers or whatever, nobody does with
when you,
toothpicks. Whatever you
when you
are.
transfer a line, you're keeping that horizontal flat transition. So it's equivalent to you putting a 8-foot level and making sure it's level, and then you grabbing another 8-foot level and putting it right next to it. Do you understand? That's like that's what transferring the line means. You're keeping that level, horizontal, flat, straight line going when you're building something. And for me, we built 2.5 miles that might be too much though for some of these idiot globers, or it might be too little for some of these idiot globers. But the fact is that when we transfer the line, we keep that line level, straight, horizontal. The reason why I reduced it to a small, tiny little 8-foot ruler is because these guys, they can't grasp big things. They could grasp 26 trillion miles for stars to be away
Do
from
you
your
think
position.
that they could grasp stupid?
Bev, you're stupid because you fucking argue people. It's not flat. There's change of
No, I just
elevation.
make arguments.
Obviously, Bev.
I just make
Obviously.
arguments, dude.
Dude, the point of the argument is that because when you can explain it simply, then people that are truly searching for the truth, something will click and they'll get it. Then they'll realize that, wait, yeah, level can't be curved because if I have a level of
It may
toothpicks,
sound simple to
those
you because
toothpicks
you
are not
might
going to
be
curve.
simple folk, right? But
Well,
some people think it
unfortunately,
just
there's a lot
sounds
of simple folks.
stupid.
Unfortunately, there's a lot of simple people, bro, and we have to talk this way sometimes. I could fucking talk very, very fucking high above these lower people, but hey, why? Because we got to do it simple, Bev.
But
Because
you're
these idiot
not high
globers want to
above
talk high.
lower people, are you? You're just a
No,
fucking dude.
Bev. Globers want to talk high and real complex. Why? Because then it confuses you, and then it can make them seem right, and then they seem smart, and so they must be right because they know
I
what they're
don't
talking
care.
about.
No.
So
You're
it's
talking
a
about
very
the people
simple.
that you talk to in
It's
these
a very
rooms.
simple thing,
But
Bev.
perhaps they come in like that because you act like this.
Look at
I
Bev.
think
It's a very simple thing. Toothpicks aren't going to bend on a level. That's the whole point of it.
I
They're not going to start curving away on a level,
I
right?
think that the entire channel unanimously agrees that toothpick example was stupid.
You can agree that it's stupid, but it fucking proves the point.
I don't
Now
think
you
it
tell
does.
me
Well,
if
it
it's so
proves
stupid.
the point
If
that
it's so
you're
stupid,
giving stupid
listen.
information, right, to
If
people
it's
and
so well,
expecting
okay,
them
Bev,
to
we
take it.
got you, Bev. You're a fucking idiot. We got you. We understand you. But look at if it's so
But
stupid.
nobody understands you, Apocryphon.
If it's so,
Nobody
shut
has
the
any
fuck
idea
up,
what you're
Scott.
talking about,
You're
man.
another idiot.
But
You're
they let
another
him
idiot.
speak as well, right? Like you, Scott.
Look at if it's so stupid, then how many toothpicks
How
does
many
it take to make a
conversations have
curveball?
you and Apocryphon had? What
How many
must that be like
Nobody
to
understands the
anybody
question you're
else
asking.
listening?
How many toothpicks does
What
it
would be
take
the
to make a
point?
curveball?
Nobody has a clue.
Yeah.
How many toothpicks does
Yeah.
it take to make a circle?
Nobody understands your question.
If you put toothpicks on top of an 8-foot fucking level, how many will it take to make a circle?
Fucking hell. That's just
Question makes no
nonsense,
sense to
dude.
anybody.
It's nonsense.
You can't grasp it.
No,
Because you
you
guys are
can't
fucking
make
retarded.
any sense from it. It's nonsense.
No, it's not nonsense, you
It
fucking
is.
It
moron.
is. It's
There's
really
literally
stupid.
no
No,
answer
you
that
have to say
anybody
it.
could give.
Globers have to say it's stupid. Bev has to say it's stupid because you guys are just fucking retarded
No,
in
flat
your argument.
earthers have come out and said that it was
Okay.
stupid
Any
in this
flat earthers
channel
that are saying
today.
it's stupid are fucking just retarded and they're just jumping aboard. They're like sheep. It's very, very simple.
Why would
You
they
guys
act as
probably don't even
sheep
know what the
against
fucking
you?
8-foot level looks like at this point because you're fucking retards. Do I have to go get an 8-foot level and then show you with toothpicks? Because the reason why I use toothpicks, by the way, because they're
Oh
straight.
my fucking
The
god,
reason
dude.
why is because they're straight, you
What are
dumb
you
fucks.
doing? Go on, do it.
Yeah, this
Record
is
it,
really
please.
bad,
Go on,
man.
let's do it live.
You're
I
doing a
think you go get
disservice.
the level, Apocryphon. Go get
Yeah,
the
I
level.
think you get the level in the toothpicks.
And cam up, man.
Hey, this
Get the
might even
toothpicks
make
and
top
cam up.
left, Apocryphon. Like, you might
Bro,
actually do
shut
it
the
with
fuck
this.
up, Bev. You and your
Do
fucking
us a
top
video
left. You could go jack. You and
explaining what you
McToon and
mean.
FTFE can all fuck off. Go. You're another grifter, by the way. You YouTube grifter. Get the fuck out of here. You're another grifter. You're over there calling them grifters. You try to get money from people.
You're
Get
on
the fuck out
YouTube
of here.
right now, are you?
Can't stand you, Bev. Oh, you don't have a channel?
No, are you?
Oh, you don't put up content?
Are
Get the
you
fuck out
on
of here.
YouTube right now? Or I don't know the people who are in here. Are you streaming to YouTube now?
Am I? No, I'm not. No, I'm not.
No, the people
Dude,
in here.
and no. But guess what though?
No, it's not
They're
streaming.
not asking people for donations. They're not asking people for super chats. They're not asking people for subscriptions. They just stream it because they just want to get the fucking message out.
Have you heard me
So
doing that?
shut the fuck up. Dude, even when I had Asylum, I was fucking interviewing fucking Mark Sargent, fucking Dave Wise, and all these
Did you
McToon,
tell them
fucking
about your
and you know
toothpick on a
many
level?
I was gonna say the same thing, Bev.
many people were like,
What did they
"Hey,
think
you
of
should
it?
charge for
Yeah, that's
people
good.
to like ask questions. You should charge for people to see it, like a pay-per-view." I said, "No, dude, I'm not gonna charge," and I charge zero. Bev, what do you do with your channel? Do you charge people?
No.
Do you charge for super chat? Do you read super chats off on your channel?
Yeah.
Fucking grifter, get the fuck out of here, dude. You're a piece of shit.
I think that's pretty standard amongst YouTubers.
Yeah, I think. I
Yeah,
mean,
so
there's
they're all-
nothing wrong with people being able to super chat, is there?
No.
Oh,
But when you want to sit back and point fingers at another person, but you yourself
no,
do the same thing
I'm
they
just
do,
saying your
you have no
rhetoric
room to talk.
shit. Nobody can
You have no room
understand
to
it.
talk.
You like
You have no
improving
room to
it would
talk.
help your
Don't call other people
conversation,
scriptures if
surely.
you're one yourself.
Okay. Just run me through it, Apocryphon. You got the level. How do we get these toothpicks to stand up?
I have a pack
No,
of
you
toothpicks and
you
an
lay them
8-foot level
down
right
because toothpicks are flat. You lay them down on top of it.
You lay them down.
Flat. Toothpicks aren't flat, Apocryphon.
Right. You lay them down.
Come on.
You lay them down. You lay them down. Okay.
But they're not
And
flat,
then, and
are
if you
they?
lay them down, and if you lay them down on top
Toothpicks
of a
aren't
level,
flat.
they
Can
will
I
be
just
flat.
make sure?
They're not.
Yeah,
If you
shut
lay
up
them
for a
down
second
on
there.
top of a
Everybody
level,
else,
they
I
will be
think
flat.
all
Do you
of us
understand that?
here, apart from
The
Apocryphon,
levels
seem to
level.
agree.
Why do you want to put
Correct.
toothpicks on it for?
Because
What do the toothpicks
it's
show?
Muted.
because it's representing when you're building something and you put it on a level, flat, straight fucking line, right? As you're building. So if you take a toothpick and you lay it down and you're butting them up, right? Point to point to point to point to point.
Oh, okay,
across
butting
the
them
8
up.
foot.
Okay, I get like that. I'm just getting the picture. That's all. I thought they were stood
Right.
up vertically at first. You see.
No. Yeah,
And
not
I
like
thought,
that. No.
that can't work. Okay, so they're butting up, and then
Yes. Then how
a
many?
bit
How many?
tapered at each end, so it's a bit difficult to get them point to point. But I'm with you. Go on.
Yeah. Okay. Now, when you kiss them and butt them up, how many will it
Yeah.
take to make a circle? Well,
Well,
if you can grasp it.
the level has established that already. You don't need the toothpicks. The level is horizontal and
True.
level. You don't need toothpicks to show that.
True. Matter of fact, you could just use levels. I get what you're saying.
I mean, if
You
the
could just say
toothpicks were
how many 8-foot
vertical,
levels
then
lined up will it take. You're right. You could just use a
but
level.
if the
You're right.
toothpicks are vertical, I could kind of think, oh, okay, that's where you're going with it. But you're just confirming that the level is level
Correct.
with the toothpicks.
Yes.
So
That's all you're doing.
what you got the level? So why
It's
the
a circle.
toothpicks?
It's something to
No,
do
I
with
know,
the circle.
because it's a visual. Because you're right. You literally
Yeah,
can
but
just use.
spot
You
on.
could
He
use.
said he's a continuous construction, so he'd established a level on the site
Correct.
and for his building work, and the bricks are the toothpicks, if you like.
Right. Exactly.
And he was saying that, but he somehow got dismissed as anybody who knew what he was doing. I don't know what the toothpicks are going to prove because the level doesn't curve either.
Look at
Horizontal doesn't curve.
Where's the
It's a
circle
straight.
come from?
Look at toothpicks, bricks, pipe, beams, fucking wood,
No, honestly,
whatever you want
I
to use
thought
as a building material.
How
The
many
point is,
toothpicks do you reckon you could get on an 8-foot level?
the point is that when you're building something level and straight, horizontally flat, that's never going to curve away from itself.
we know that because that's what we said with the
Curve
water
it to
level.
make a circle. That's the whole point.
What is it about the water level you want to silence then? Because the water level will demonstrate that far better than an 8-foot level and some toothpicks.
Yes. Well,
So
I know,
that
but
was
look
where
at
we were, and it was
I
going
agree with you.
fine, and then you just destroyed it because
No.
The water level will establish that over a much larger distance than 8 feet.
No, hey, listen.
So why
I
is that
agree with
shut
you.
down?
I
And you go to
agree
an
with you.
8-foot
Look at
distance.
Look, I agree with you, but
Until
do you
people are
remember what?
retarded.
Hold on. I agree with you, but do you remember what Scott told him when he mentioned the water level? Scott said, "Well, at the end of the water level, there'll be a new
Scott says
horizon."
to everything.
I know.
Yeah, but did
I
you
know.
Just the
did you
things you
notice
say
what
that are wrong.
everybody said when you brought up the level and the toothpicks? Do you think that was any better?
No. It was That's why I brought a
He did it for
visualization on
Scott.
a smaller scale, because then he can.
God
Because
knows what he's
hopefully,
talking about. He does this every day. He doesn't need an 8 foot level and toothpicks. Honestly, you know,
I
5-year-olds
agree.
might.
Can we
You
use
know,
uncooked spaghetti noodles instead? I think that would help me visualize it.
well, then they're pliable, then they bend, so that's not the same thing. But
it's
the point
just
is,
dumbing down the
But
whole
okay, then
argument
can we
for
do it in a
or if you
5-year-olds.
use
vacuum?
it on a level, you're right. You could
Okay,
use that because if it's on level, it's going to be straight regardless. You're
can we
right.
do it in a
It's
vacuum
just
though?
another level of nonsense. It just confuses the whole issue. I can't see how anybody can go forward with this stuff.
Well,
Because
the
people aren't
point is that
five.
when you're
We're not
built,
in
the
a
point,
primary school teaching young kids and giving
the
them some kind of, meme graphic representation. There's people in here talking here every day about water levels and deep shit, not basic kind of, memes to paint a picture in people's heads. Everybody knows what a water level is. Scott knows what it is. He argues the same shit every time. He doesn't need an 8 foot level to make it any clearer. He's
no,
just
well,
here every day saying the same thing. You're wrong, and he's done nothing. And most of the people in here have done nothing. Never touched the tools, never used the tools, talked to ChatGPT or something for their information. And I don't know where it's going really. And then when it gets a bit tough, a glober supports a flat earther, a flat earther supports a glober, and shuts down the people who do have an argument that actually benefits your argument, and you kick it out.
yeah,
I don't get it. I just don't get
point,
it.
the point though
You're going
is
to go
that
back to toothpicks.
the point though is that Globers, they firmly believe,
Yui just jumped out of the shadows to help you.
they firmly
A
believe,
glober.
they firmly believe that
People call
level
out
is curved.
Yui to come and help them
They
with
firmly
the
believe that
arguments, the flat
they firmly
earthers.
they firmly believe that level is curved. So even when you speak level to them, they still think, yeah, okay,
Yeah,
but
but
because
beliefs
the
don't
earth is curved,
override proofs, do they?
I get that. I get that.
Okay.
But we're not even arguing with
Are
Scott at
you
this
in a
point. We're
position to
arguing
hand
it.
people the
We're
proof,
talking
or you're just talking
we're
about the
talking to the
beliefs?
audience at this point.
Hmm.
And sometimes if
About the
you break
beliefs
it
of
down
others.
as simple as possible for the audience, then hopefully something clicks and then they
But
realize
the
it.
audience is telling you
Audience.
it's not simple. It's fucking nonsense, the shit that you're talking.
Well,
And the
if you
audience is
can't
only in this
grasp that,
room. It's not going out
if you couldn't
streaming.
grasp,
So it's only people in this room that's the audience. It's not going out to YouTube, to the world. And if it is, then hello world, does this make any sense? How
yeah,
old are you that you can't
the
grasp this idea of a water level?
the
That you
the
need something much simpler. And the
well,
people in the room here don't.
the
The
water
people in
level
the
is the
room
best
don't, do they?
example. The water level would be the
Everybody
best.
here is here pretty much every day. They've heard this. They don't need. I don't get where it's
I
going.
would
It's just round
propose
and
that
round,
if your
circular
goal
talking
is
all the
just to
time.
realize
And if
Euclid,
you bring up something to challenge
you could do it
anything, it
much
just gets
cheaper and much easier.
squashed or pushed in the
Let
corner
me
or said,
demonstrate.
you're part of this group or that
I
group.
have
Don't
here
talk to them. Don't subscribe.
a
Whatever
piece of
goes on,
spaghetti.
I don't understand
Mm-mm.
where
It's a
this
straight
truth
line.
is headed.
Now the second one.
Because it's just hit a dead end.
Rain Man was just
So I
trying to break
overlap
down the
them,
concept into a more digestible example.
right? I overlap
Oh,
them.
well, you might need
I make a
toothpicks for
single straight
you.
line.
Then
Yeah.
put your hand up and ask for that
Did I
description.
just
Something
realize
simpler.
Wait,
Euclid
Erdebear, are
If something
and
we?
gets
I
too
verify
can't tell.
difficult,
Euclid's first
I can't tell what you were
postulate?
saying, Erdebear. Were you
Well, it
saying that
is
we're
in a
all
plane.
factional,
You
or were
see,
you
that's the
saying that we all
thing.
simp for each
It's a
other? Because
plane that you need to
you said that I
establish
was
because
defending
Oh, okay.
Mach
Apocryphon,
11
I'll
but
use
you
a
also
cell
is
phone
said
the
then.
solid geometry.
we have
I'll
like
put
our
them on a cell
teams,
phone to
right?
make
Like,
sure that we
I'm
have the plane.
anti-flat earther
Uh-huh.
and
Now, have I
Apocryphon's
realized
anti-globe
Euclid?
earther. So how are you going to reconcile those two things together?
just let the room know. I don't talk to this guy. He's not to be trusted. Told you
Yep.
before. I told him the
Here we
first
go
time I
again.
talked to him.
Here we go
He's not to
again.
be.
Are
He's
you
not to be
evil,
trusted.
Yui?
I make my decision about that, same as I make my decision about whether I
I'm evil.
think about toothpicks or anything. Yeah, he said he was going to bring this channel down, but you've got him here. I heard him yesterday calling out Yui. Have you got anything to say, Yui? Come on, you come and entertain us.
I said I was going to do what?
Yeah, bring down the channel, he said.
Do you want to cite that? You want
Doesn't
to
sound like
post it
him.
anywhere, post it somewhere, ideally, so we can all look at it?
Well, the evidence is there.
I don't
Where?
think it is.
What?
He's
Doesn't sound
not to
like
be
him at
trusted
all.
in my book. I haven't got time for him. He's just
Yeah,
a
you're just going to
joke.
say things, aren't you, De Bear,
And
as
I've
usual?
noticed, that people just,
You gonna
both
lie
sides
about
come
people,
out and
man?
support each other somehow. And that seems a bit weird to me.
You're just gonna lie about people?
And that people here are
Yeah,
here,
this is
every day.
trademark.
They
He
know the
likes to make
arguments.
things up.
Well, it's observable.
Horizontal is horizontal at the end of the day. It's not curved.
Yeah, but nobody wants it.
No, but
Nobody
level
wants
is.
it.
Especially on a piece of paper, right? That's even more clear. I like
Nobody
that.
wants horizontal and straight lines and an argument. Nobody wants it. Anybody.
The whole world is derived from that, by the way. Everything that's built is derived off parallels and horizontals. Everything. Doesn't
No,
matter
it's
if
not.
you're fucking building in a mountain. Doesn't matter if you're building in a fucking valley, even in a fucking ditch. Everything about that is going to be horizontal to the fucking to a straight line. That's it.
Oh, yeah.
Every
Horizontal. You were going to say horizontal to the plane, but then you realized
yeah.
there could be more than one plane.
Right.
That would be
Yeah.
awkward,
That's
wouldn't it?
why. Yeah,
Yeah,
you're right.
Yui's
That's
here to train you, Apocryphon.
Infinite planes.
Be a good lad.
Do any of you guys believe in curved water?
It's a bunch of bullshit.
Does anybody believe in curved water?
Yeah, there's
Yes,
things
I
like
do.
weirs and
sometimes, yeah.
waves and stuff like that. Yeah,
Tide.
you don't
Water
need
that
to. You
curves
don't need
around
to
the globe.
believe
You
in
know,
those
water
sort of
Yes,
curves
things. You
all
can
the
I
actually
believe
time.
in
see
water
them.
that curves
Raindrops,
along the globe.
raindrops, surface tension. Like Bev said, waves.
Okay, let me be a
Water
little bit more
curves
precise.
regularly, I think.
He's talking oceans, though.
Curved water
What I
around
what
the
I
globe.
mean when
Yes.
I say it's a bunch of bullshit, I'm specifically speaking in regards to the fact that people believe that the ocean is curving away from you
Yes, we do.
because it's sticking to
Scott,
the
speak for yourself.
gravity of the texture of the earth
Yeah, but
No,
that's
it's part of the
ridiculous
people.
because the
Oh,
plane
you
of the
always say we,
horizon's
man.
horizontal. So, I mean, that's just
exactly
that's nonsense.
complete nonsense.
So why
Like,
are
how many
you
Scots are there?
saying it for them
Oh, you
then?
guys shut up. Fucking arguing about the same thing
He's
fucking
not
for an hour
arguing
now.
about it. He's telling you what your model
He's not
has.
telling me shit,
I
dude.
know he's not.
He's
Because
talking to
you
you,
have
and
your
you're
own
talking to
model.
him, and you're both fucking arguing the same point
I'm
over
not.
and over again.
I'm
man.
pointing out that his
I'm
fucking
not.
rhetoric
I'm
is
not.
shit. And he's
Are you
talking
drunk,
for the
Bev?
globe.
Like, shut the fuck
Like
up
he is a
already,
glober.
man.
He knows more about it than anyone.
We all know about the globe. We were all globers. What the fuck?
It's not real.
It's because we know the globe is why we can realize
No,
the
no
stupidity.
Apocryphon.
No.
I was a Glober, technically, up until September when I started to be a different kind of Glober that understood, I guess, some parts of the globe. Now, just saying you were a Glober at one point, I mean, didn't mean you understand exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, the real
You know?
globe. You didn't know the
It's
real
because we
globe.
understand what was being talked about. It's because we understand
But you only
that
know the
in
dogmatic
reality,
globe that you've been
it's
taught.
No.
You
it's
don't know the real globe.
It means
like
it
you.
means you watched YouTube videos,
it's
Apocryphon,
because we
and then
look at
you came
it's
to this conclusion.
it's because we understand that we take measurements to be flat and horizontal. This is why now
We
we
don't take
realize, wait,
measurements to
the
be
Earth
that.
isn't a curve.
Because
What?
that's a nonsense. That's one of your nonsenses that you speak.
You have to be very
What's
precise when you
nonsense,
talk
Beth?
to Bev.
You
You have to be
don't
very precise because this
measure
fucking guy just
flat
doesn't
and
understand.
horizontal. You
Are you fucking
establish references
Oh,
to measure
okay.
from.
There we go with the words place. Okay, look.
No, this is what Lumpy was telling Nathan the other day.
When
You don't
measure
it. You establish
measure,
references to measure from.
Yes. Right. So you establish this point of a vertical, and then you're going to create a 90-degree of that, and then you're going to create a perpendicular measurement, and then you can
A
say
90
this
degree
is
would be
horizontal.
from a line, not
Then
a
you can say
point.
this is horizontal. Then when you take that horizontal after measuring, right? You're only going to establish that by
Your
measuring.
brain's
Once
fried,
you
mate.
measure it,
What you're saying
Dude,
makes no sense to anyone.
He doesn't want to argue with you, dude. He just wants to pick apart your words and fucking.
are you what do you
argue
mean
the
it didn't make no
post.
sense? What are you talking about? You establish the vertical and you get a horizontal. How do you deny that? How do you combat that? What are you talking about, Bev? How do you get a horizontal, Bev? Tell me how you do it.
Get a tool called a level.
An 8-foot level.
Well, I've got a 400 meter water level.
But you should try it with an 8-foot level.
Yeah, but I do have a 400 meter water level. I've got
Okay,
water levels
so
of
how do you
different
establish a
ranges,
horizontal?
sizes. I fill it
So
up with
how do you?
water and make sure that there is no air bubbles in it, and then I just I know that both of the ends will be of the same horizontal. So I can put one of the ends where I want to establish the horizontal at, and I know that the other end will also be at an equal altitude. I just know it. Because I've performed a test in reality with these 400 meter water levels with spot on, right, to establish that a straight line lies within a plane.
Right.
So I have
That's
a proof.
why water levels are great to use, especially over long distances. You're right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so when you mark it, right, you mark that end, and then you mark the one way on the other end, right, and you know, whatever the height was of this, we know that that's what it's going to represent. Correct?
Equal altitude.
Right. So like, let's say you made it 2 feet above the ground where you're at, right? Now you know that at the other end, can it be 2.5 feet off the ground?
Yeah, but that would be a 2.5 feet measurement from the reference. It's not a measurement of the reference, which is the point that we were saying.
So it's the topography that's changing, and Globers can't grasp
it's
that.
an incorrect statement to state that you measure the flat, because you don't.
Yeah, well,
you establish the reference. So you
I
best
get
go
what
and
you're
tell
saying.
Nathan Oakley to say
I get
sorry
what
to
you're-
Lumpy, because he made a fucking tit of him yesterday.
Yeah, I get what you're saying though. But you do measure though. You do measure it, even the way you're
Dude,
doing it.
you're trying to
That's still
justify
considered a
something that
measurement.
you've just agreed isn't that. You're
No,
still
no,
trying to do
no.
it.
You're missing it. You're missing the point. I agree with you that you could
I know,
establish
you're going to have
level
to
that
go
way.
against Nathan Oakley. That's what you realised, and you best backtrack, because, poof, you can't
No,
go
no,
up against Nathan
I agree
Oakley
with
and say
Nathan
any of
Oakley.
this shit, can you? Because you'll get the fucking treatment.
No, I agree with Nathan. You are taking a
No, you
measurement.
do.
You're
It's
just not
fucking
calling it a measurement.
ridiculous. That's the
Okay,
point that people are saying. It sounds like
no, Bev,
nonsense,
this is where you're
because
ridiculous. This
it
is where you don't
literally
get it,
is
Bev.
nonsense. Anybody that's ever took these measurements, they know
Bev.
you establish the reference and you measure from it.
Okay, there you go. It's in the sentence. You just did it. This measurement, right? But you take a measurement, though, right? So, Bev, when you put the water level at 2 feet above ground, the fact that you know that that's 2 feet, you measured it to be 2 feet. So when you measure that, then you have made a measurement. And then once you establish that horizontal at 2 feet above ground, you have measured your horizontal to be accurate. And you know it's horizontal based upon you understand how how water does a water level works.
I don't know how you
But it's
guys are
still
going
a
to come back
measurement.
from this. This is
No,
a
no, no.
different
I don't know
sect of
I
flat
don't know what you
earthers,
got
the
going
flat
on, Bev.
earthers that talk nonsense but expect everybody else to go along with what they say. That's
Are
what's
you
coming.
saying
It's a dictatorship.
How do you, Bev?
I'm just saying it sounds like nonsense. To me,
everything about
it sounds
okay,
like
okay.
nonsense, because
To
you
it does, 'cause
literally
you don't-
measure
you are a
from
whole
it.
other
You
fucking
don't
weird one.
measure it.
You take a measurement and you are going to establish horizontal. That's why I agree with you. I said you're right. You're not measuring horizontal. You're going to establish horizontal, but by measuring. Do you understand what I'm saying?
No, you don't measure. You just establish the horizontal
Okay,
with the
okay,
tool.
okay,
You
okay.
don't measure
This
it.
is why I think this is why you get told off by Nathan, because
Told off by
you're
Nathan.
taking
No, this is
you're
what
taking
it's
one
going to be
thing.
your big problem. Where you've got people like lumpy gas in a vacuum that's never really talked, but supported Nathan fucking ages, going up to him and saying, "Look, Nathan, you don't measure it. You're making it sound stupid, Nathan. When you get that happening, you best
Okay.
take note of it."
No. This just it's stupid to say that though,
No,
because if you take
no,
Earth,
it's
okay,
you.
you
You're
take Earth.
using words that
Look,
you
look, look.
shouldn't
Real
do
simple.
that, because you
It's real
shouldn't call
simple.
people like that stupid.
Hey, no, look it. It's real simple, Bev. It's real simple. When you have Earth,
If
okay,
you're
let's say
speaking for
there's
this
big.
new, I think
Look,
this is the
Bev,
2024 new flat Earth that's going to end it. It's, you know, you're doing
Bev.
it like this is
This,
you're making flat
but
earthers look
you're
ridiculous.
bringing up a dumb argument though, Bev.
This is
You say some
as
stupid shit
stupid as
sometimes.
shit you can
The
ever get.
reality, Bev, is that when you are on a job site. First of all, what job site? What's the last job site you've been on?
The last job site I was on was a job site where we did a test to establish a straight line within a plane.
Okay, did you have a measuring tape at all?
We did have measuring tapes, yes. We had a
Okay.
measuring wheel.
What
We
did
had
you
a
use the
50
measuring
meter
tape for,
tape
Bev?
to
What
measure
did you use the measuring tape for?
distances.
Okay. Now, when you had a vertical, did you
We just
measure how
really
high
had
that was or no?
we just really had an even altitude. That's what we were establishing. We didn't
Okay.
care at what height it was,
Okay.
because we were
Okay.
just establishing the
So
straight line within the plane.
okay. Okay. So let's say you didn't have a water level. What else can you use then to establish your horizontal?
Well, we decided to use water levels because that was the cheapest and most cost-effective way of us establishing a water level. Also, it's more accurate over distance, and you don't need a sight line with the water level. So, you know, that's why we used it.
Okay. So none of that answered my question. I will ask it one more time,
You're
Bev.
asking stupid
Let's say
questions.
you didn't have a water. Let's say you didn't have a water level. How would you establish horizontal? Go ahead. I'll wait.
We had water levels. We specifically chose to have water
Okay.
levels.
That doesn't answer the question again, but I'll try one more time. If you didn't have a water level, Bev, how would you establish the horizontal line that you have to
If I wanted to establish a benchmark at an unknown location, what I would do is I would go to a known location and transfer that established elevation mark to the unknown. And I would use a tool called a level. Now, depending on how accurate you wanted to be, you could use any level you wanted to. We chose, because we wanted to go for a long distance, to use a water level. But you could establish it with an auto level, yes, with the elevation changes of differential leveling, which I've already told you I've done in college. I know how to do it. I've actually performed this maneuvering of a benchmark to an unknown position to make it known.
Okay, so Bev,
I know how to do that. Do you?
Okay, so Bev.
Do you?
Okay, so Bev.
Apocryphon.
Yeah, so
do you
what was that?
know how to do that?
Do what?
What you just asked for.
Yes, I do.
Okay.
How to transfer a line? How to establish horizontal? Yes. And the way we can do that.
You
So for
establish
instance,
a
if you don't have a
horizontal
water
by
level,
using a level, not
for instance,
transferring an elevation or benchmark from one position to another.
So for instance, Bev, let me share something with you. For instance, if you don't have a water level and you go onto a job site and you want to create a horizontal line, right? A straight line, a level line. Let's say we're going to get the second story, right? Let's say the first story is already in place. Let's say the first story is already in place. Okay, we've built that yesterday.
Dude,
Now we're
what the
back for the
fuck are
second
you
story.
talking about? This is
We're going to
nonsense.
establish a horizon.
You're just fucking wasting time. I don't
We're
know
going
how
to
long
establish
you've
a
been doing
horizontal
this.
line.
You talk to Scott.
We're gonna because I'm gonna show you how you measure.
You're not gonna show me anything.
Oh, I'm gonna tell you, right? I'm not gonna
See
show
you
you because
later,
we're
guys.
just on the
It's
phone.
been fun once again.
Right, yeah.
You can measure this. The level surface drops away, drops down from the horizontal plane at a rate of 8 inches times the distance in miles squared. You can measure this. Oh, yeah, it's measurable. The level surface. You can measure this. Have you tried measuring this? Oh, yeah, it's measurable. The level surface drops away, drops down. Oh, yeah, it's measurable. From the horizontal plane, drops away, drops down. Have you tried measuring this? You can measure this. Oh, yeah, it's measurable. You can measure this. Have you tried measuring this? I did not say that the level is not horizontal.
I'm saying, personally, I believe the things that you teach your child, your autistic child, is
How do
psychological
you-
child abuse.
Like, that water is level?
No, you teach your child that level is a horizontal plane, which is not true.
Yes.
And the implication of that is that you are teaching your child the earth is flat.
It's the echo in your brain. You know you can't sustain the misconceptions in your mind. One day you'll see for sure what all of this was for. Then you can leave it all behind. The journey begins. I am the one, yeah, that will show the proof. I am the one, yeah, that is searching for the truth. I am the whispers of the logic in your mind. I am an agent of the Logos. In the beginning was found this thing that cannot speak. It's how we all truly learn. It's only ever attained when one lets go of fear. So don't let wisdom pass you by. The journey begins. I am the one, yeah, that will show the proof. I am the one, yeah, that is searching for the truth. I am the whispers of the logic in your mind. I am an agent of the Logos. It was there all along. How could I never have seen this thing that's danced all around? It wasn't until I left behind the things I believed that I could see things so clear. The journey begins. Become the one, yeah, that will show the proof. Become the one, yeah, that is searching for the truth. Become the whispers of the logic in their minds. Become an agent of the Logos. Become an agent of the Logos. We are the agents of the Logos.